Okay, so here's a review for the quiz on trigonometry. Number one says use the triangles below to write each ratio. So it says cosine angle C. This angle is where you're going to start. Okay, very important. So I'm going to put an arc at angle C. And as usual, I'm going to label O, H, and A. So there's my O, there's my H, there's my A, left over. Now, it says SOHCAHTOA at the top. Remember, it's sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So cosine would be A over H. So all I gotta do is put these over each other. A over H is 12 over 13. If it reduces, you want to reduce it, but 12 over 13 does not have a common factor between them, so that's it, 12 over 13. Now, don't get messed up right here. Put a little star here. It says sine of angle A. I cannot use the same OHA. Okay, it says sine of A, so I have to start at angle A. So I'm going to cross out A and O on the outside. And my arc is now going to be here at A. Okay, so starting at angle A, my O is actually 12, H is the same, and my A is 5. Do you see how when they change the angle, it changes O and A? Very important. So now that we have everything labeled starting at angle A, sine, S-I-N, is O over H. So now it's going to be 12 over 13. These happen to be the same thing. Okay. It may not be that way on the actual quiz tomorrow, but this is the way you do these types of problems. Label OHA, give me the fraction, reduce it if you can. Okay. Okay, now we got 3 of these. You want to find the length of the missing side x. So we've done these before. Start at the angle and label O, H, A. Which one do I not need? Well, I don't need that A because there's nothing there. So I'm going to remember for all these. So, SOHCAHTOA. All right, so O and H is going to be sine. So sine 33 equals O over H, x over 17. When x is being divided, I'll need to do the opposite, which is multiply 17, multiply 17. 17's cancel out, and I'm left with x equals sine 33 times 17. I can take that to my calculator, hit the trig button next to the number 7, sine 33, go to the right, times 17. I get 9.258, which makes the 5 round up to 6. So 9.26. And my units of measure from the picture are inches. Okay. All right, next one. Starting at the angle, 50 degrees, I'm going to label O, H, and A. So I got O, H, and A. O is missing. Can you cross that one out? So A and H is going to be right here. Okay, so that's going to be cosine. So I'm going to put cosine and the angle, 50, equals A over H, which is x over 33. Just like the last one, when x is on top and it's being divided, we need to do the opposite. We're going to multiply by 33. Okay, 33's cancel. Let's rewrite this. X equals cosine 50 times 33. So cosine 50 times 33, I can type that in my calculator. Cosine 50, go to the right, times 33. And I get 21.212. 2. The 2 makes the 1 stay the same. So I got 21.21 centimeters. Okay. All right, on the next one, this is kind of a thin one. Here's the angle. Across is, my opposite is 5. Across from 90 is my h. My leftover is x. That's my a. I don't need h in this situation, so I have o and a. So let's write that out. OA is tangent, so tan angle 75 equals O over A. Now this time, O over A, X is on the bottom. We've been doing these on the warm-up, but when X is on the bottom, you're going to take the trig and that denominator, and you're going to switch places. X goes to the left, 5 is still on top, tan 75 is on the bottom. Okay, so switcheroo when X is on the bottom in the denominator. So now I can put in 5 over tan 75 into my calculator. 5, triple divide, go to trig, tan 75. 5 over tan 75 gives me 1.339. The 9 makes the 3 round up to 4, 1.4. And my units of measure are kilometers, very big. Now that was last week's stuff. Now what we learned yesterday is how to find a missing angle. Okay, we use inverse to find a missing angle, which means it's going to have a little -1 up top, right? So let's start from our missing angle x. I'm going to label O, H, and A. I don't need an O because it's missing. So let's not forget. So ka, toa. A and H is going to be cosine. So cosine x, always the trig, then the angle, which is missing. So cosine x equals A over H, 10 over 13. Okay. Okay, and we had learned if I'm solving for x and I need to move the trig, the cosine, to the other side, I can move this to the other side as long as I put a little -1 inverse. So what I mean is cosine's gone over here. I have x equals, now the cosine's over here, but it's going to be inverse with the little -1. Parentheses 10 over 13. Okay, so the cosine can move to the other side if you put a little inverse -1. Type that in the calculators. Okay, I go to trig, and I need to look at the bottom. Okay, cosine inverse is right here. Cosine inverse, 10, control divide 13. That looks just like what I was writing down. So I hit enter, and I get 39.715 makes the 1 round up. 39.72, and my units of measure are degrees. Okay. Last one, same idea. Starting at x, I'm going to label my angles. Okay, my sides O, H, A. I don't need that H, right? So OA is going to be TOA. So tan, the angle is missing, X equals O over A. And I'm going to take that trig, move it to the other side, but I got to put a little inverse on it. So X equals tan inverse 11 over 16. If I can type that in my calculator, I'll be good. So let's do that. Okay. So trig, tan inverse, 11 divided by 16 I get 34.508. 8 makes the 0 round up. 34.51. And my units of measure are degrees. Okay. So that's the review. Your quiz is just like this. You got to do just with different numbers. You got to be able to do this trig stuff. It's all based on SOHCAHTOA. Make sure you have this review finished and that you bring it to the quiz.